All right, what is up, guys? It's been a minute, but I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to share some things with you guys. I've been super busy. There's a lot going on, and as I'm able to share things, I will, and you'll be made aware of things. But I couldn't be more excited. Going into the next few months, going into the next however long this period of just I feel like people are back. I feel like people have shaken off some of the cobwebs of summer, which is ironic because I'm about to get into why I think some people actually haven't or what they're missing. But today's topic that I want to dive into is, guys, LinkedIn is changing, like it or not. Like if you've been on the platform recently, if you've been experiencing it over the last month or 45 days, it would be hard to ignore, to sit there right now and ignore what I'm saying, that the platform is changing. There's less quality content being created today than I actually believe since the pandemic started, believe it or not. And I have some reasons as to why I believe this. And I hope that you can use this podcast episode, this video, as kind of an awakening or a moment of inspiration to help you, whatever level you're at as a financial advisor, running your own business and creating your own content, or leveling up all the way into the investment management world, and you're part of a team and you're looking to generate the content for the firm. LinkedIn's changing, and I believe there's a lot of LinkedIn fatigue. I believe people are tired of putting out what they think is the right content, and it's just not working. It's not delivering the results they expected. The DMs aren't coming. The likes and the comments are coming from the same people over and over. I think there's just a level of fatigue overall that's taken place on that platform. I think people jumped on heavy on LinkedIn when the pandemic hit and got really good at producing content on the platform. And I think 18, 16, 12 months of doing the same thing over and over and over has exhausted people. And where that comes into play is, I think, over the last couple of months in summer, especially August, I think a lot of people took a break and took some time off, me included. And that's why I've been gone for 30 days. You guys haven't heard me on the podcast or on the YouTube channel for such a long time. And if you're watching this on YouTube, do me a favor. And if any of the content I give you guys brings you value, those on YouTube, please give this a like. Please subscribe. We'll put the subscribe bell notification on. Please subscribe. And anyone listening to this on the podcast, after this episode's over, please leave a review. Whether it's 1 star or 5 stars, just a review lets me know how I'm doing and if I'm delivering you guys value. So for that, I'd be super grateful. But I want to get back to, look, I took a break. I had some fatigue. I was tired. My family and I got away in August. We needed time off, and we took it. And what's happened is, I think, even though people have been back in the office, back working, back on the grind, I think what's happened is that fatigue it's almost like when you stop working out and you've been so consistent, that fatigue, it trickles. There's like it holds on to you, it anchors you for a while. So even though my family and I may have stepped out in mid to late August to do our vacation family time and stuff, and I took a break from creating content, from creating podcasts, videos on YouTube, even though I've been back for a few weeks, I've still had that fatigue and that overall kind of blasé feeling of, I'm just, not there yet. And I think a lot of people are feeling that. And I think that's normal. I think that's real. And I think that's one of the reasons we're seeing a shift in the LinkedIn content. The other one is, there is a return to normal. There is this expectation in reality that people are back in a normal working environment, a normal office setting, and their habits have changed. And if your habits have changed, those habits have probably gone back to pre-pandemic kind of working habits. And those were the times when we weren't out there creating a lot of content, when we weren't focused on putting content out into the world and communicating from our home offices or from our office, but with not a lot of people around. We had maybe more comfort recording videos, audio, putting out creative. Now people are together. There might be 10 people in your office. There might be 5 people in your office. There might just be another person, but it gives you angst to sit there and create that same content that you had a comfortableness of creating in your home or in an empty office. So I think there's a return to normal, which has either given people pause and made them almost like judge what they were doing, or they just have less time. There's more distraction. You're back to a normal meeting schedule, and you're, let's just face it, if you're back in an office and you weren't, you know, you're getting properly dressed in the morning, you've got the commute, you know, things have changed, and that's a reality. I touched on this. I think people are out of rhythm from the summer. I think people took a well-needed break, again, me included, and it takes a while to get back in the flow, back in the gym. It just does. It takes almost like that snap. You've got to almost reset yourself back into like, whoa, like, all right, vacation's over. It's time to get back into the lab. It's time to start creating again. And I think there's a lot of that, and I'm empathetic to it because I'm feeling it. And today's my first day back on camera, back in front of a mic for you all in just well over a month. And I've been thinking it. You know, I'm human. I'm just like you guys. I've been thinking this whole time, like, I've got to be creating more content. Like, fuck, I've been so quiet. I've got to be doing more. And every Sunday night, I'm like, you know what? Monday is going to be the day. And look what happened. It's trickled, you know, probably over 40 days now where I haven't created the amount of content that I know I should be creating. And that's just being out of rhythm. And that's just being out of the flow. And that's healthy. That's human. It's a break. I feel good. I'm energetic. I'm ready. You can hear me. The passion that I have, I'm ready to go. And then finally, I think the thing which is kind of meta here, I'm saying LinkedIn is changing. I started this whole thing with LinkedIn is changing. And then I'm going to go back to pull LinkedIn in as to why it's changing, because I think the LinkedIn reach has really decreased for so many of us, and we're seeing it. Like, you're putting out a piece of content that you could have put out in June or July that would have gone so much farther and garnered so much more attention, and you do the same thing today and it's not really going anywhere. And I think that adds to our fatigue, and we're like, I'm just tired of this. It's not going as far, right? So if the LinkedIn reach has decreased, it almost puts us in a place of like negative think, right? Like, well, I'm not. Why am I going to spend all this time creating and it's not going to go anywhere, right? It's kind of like not seeing the results at the gym. Again, back to the gym analogy. Like, if I don't see the results, if I'm not feeling any better, if I'm not feeling more energetic, stronger, healthier, it's hard to stay going. It's hard to stay on the treadmill, on the bike, lifting the weights. But like, once you plow through that, you become consistent at the gym. You know, LinkedIn's different. Can we plow through it? Can we, if the reach has decreased, can we keep pushing through it? I don't know the answer to that. I think time will tell. Again, guys, especially you all on YouTube, if you like this video, if this adds any value, please like the video, please subscribe. And those of you listening on podcast, it would mean the world to me for you all to leave a rating at the end of this episode. It just lets me know how I'm doing and what kind of value I'm bringing you all. Look, LinkedIn, it was bound to change. The platform, I don't think it's not over, right? We're not done, but it's changed. And I'd be naive to say that it hasn't. You know, you're still going to have stuff. You're still going to put things out that are going to go much farther than you thought they would. But at the same time, not everything you put out is going to go as far as it did. And I think that's a new reality, and I think we have to get used to it. And one of the things that I'm big on that you guys know me for is like, we have to diversify our content. That's why YouTube is such a big one for me. That's why podcasts, that's why having different ways of getting your message out into the world right now is so important. So take this advice, take this observation. If you agree with it, you agree with it. If you don't, fine, that's okay. I hope that what I've said at least brought some value and got you thinking in a way of that you may not have been thinking. Like, I believe LinkedIn is changing. I believe there's less quality content being put out and shared and in front of me and in my feed than there was even 60 days ago. I think there's LinkedIn fatigue. I think there's a more return to normal, quote unquote, normal environments where people have less time or less motivation to create the kind of content that we've all been used to consuming. I think people, myself included, have gotten out of rhythm, and I think that'll help. We'll get back into a rhythm here this fall, and I think that will spark this thing again. But frankly, I think the reach has decreased. I think, you know, we don't know how they play with the algorithm, but I think more paid advertising is coming into the platform. I think the corporations are putting out more content, and I think it's a little noisier. So it's just the way it is. This is the way these organic things change, and and develop over time. So I hope this has been helpful to you all. Cheers. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to Unfiltered with Corey Keating. Thank you for watching the Corey Keating channel on YouTube. I appreciate it. I hope you all are well, and I will talk to you again soon. Cheers.